These are 5 things I learned from 6 months of stand-up comedy while doing weekly open mics in Sydney, and how these 5 lessons will help you as a first home buyer to get into the property market faster. Yep, that's me, and I'm crushing it at an underground bar open mic in Broadway, Sydney. And this is where I learn on a weekly basis this high level of shamelessness that I exude in my videos. I mean, the level of shamelessness required to do these type of self-deprecating jokes in front of these type of audience is unimaginable. Which leads me to lesson number 1. Be prepared to bomb, guys. Which means whatever savings plans you have, whatever intention you have in terms of buying your first property, that idea is gonna bomb. Just like over here, guys, I bombed every week for 2 months. Now in stand-up comedy, a joke is made up of a premise, which is a setup, which sets up the joke, and then you deliver the punchline. Well, I did all that, but none of these guys laugh. But that's the point, guys. You learn while you fail through the process. Just like your savings goals. You might aim high to save $2,000 or $3,000 a month, but through the process of failing, you might realize that's not really unreasonable. Maybe you can save only $500 to $1,000 a month. The idea is you will bomb, and it's okay. Lesson number 2, there will be hecklers. Boo, you suck! Go back to being a mortgage broker. Your jokes are boring as. Just like your intention to buy a property, there will be a lot of people in your life that will heckle at you. And those hecklers in your life will be, property doomsayers. Oh, the property is crashing. Why are you buying? You have friends who think a mortgage is a life sentence. And even your better half, your partner might be saying, why not just rent? Now, when I was ticking off my bucket list just to be a stand-up comedian for 6 months, which this happened like 4 to 5 years ago, I just did it because I liked the challenge, and it developed a really thick face for me. And lesson number 3, you start to learn the mechanics of what makes things work. For example, a joke is not just made up of a premise, setup, and punchline. From bombing and failing and trying again and again, I learned extra skills: showmanship, acting out, stage confidence, shamelessness, don't forget that, having balls, learning hooks, learning how to hold people's attention, and having a general comedic mind. And yes, I didn't become a great comedian, and not because I don't think I had the potential. But when you walk into a room filled with 20 comedians and you think to yourself, I earn more in a month than you do in a year collectively combined, you kind of get a paradigm shift. But the point is, I'm glad I ticked this off my bucket list, because look at my TikTok videos. Where does the comedy come from? Harnessed here. So first home buyers, just keep going. You'll be learning a lot about property and property buying. And lesson number 4, confront your fears. Always do something that scares you. Buying property for your first time is very scary. Just like me doing stand-up for the first few weeks, it was totally terrifying. Once you buy your first one, and then you do your second one and your third one, it gets so much easier. I personally already have 7 properties, and I remember my first one, it was totally scary. And lesson number 5, guys, in a few years' time, you look back and you'll say to yourself, hey, I was like that first home buyer standing on that stage, looking so awkward while everyone else laughed at me. But then you realize you're the one that bought the property, while these guys, your mates, are still renting. Who's got the last laugh now? Every client I've spoken to over my 15 years of experience that has owned more than 2 to 3 properties, and they always tell me, they're like, Q, oh my God, it was so cringe how I was acting like a first home buyer with you before. And mind you guys, I don't laugh back at them, because I'm just so proud on seeing them grow and mature through their property journey, that they can actually look back and go, that was cringe. Hopefully that was helpful.